Welcome back. And our next presenter today is Managing Director of Navarre Minerals, Mr. Geoff McDermott. Now, you all know that Navarre is in Victoria. Victoria is currently experiencing a gold rush. There's a lot going on down there. Hey, Geoff, welcome to the Virtual Gold Conference. Great to see you. Let's talk Navarre. What's going on? Tell our listeners, because I just think you guys have been flying under the radar for quite some time. And for those of you listening out there, the ASX code is N for Nelly, M for Mother, L for Lima, NML. Go check it out. This one has been flying under the radar. I'm excited you're here. Geoff, what's going on?
G'day, Kerry. How are you?
Great.
A lot of things are going on at the moment. A lot of good news flow sort of coming out. We're drilling away out at our Resolution Lode just south of the Stawell Gold Mine, so generating some great results out of there. You might have seen one of our recent press releases. We've just been given priority over the historic Savannah area.
Yeah, sorry, Geoff. That was like you said that was an announcement last week. Can we talk a little bit about that? Because in that announcement, there were some extraordinary results, which I think are pretty exciting.
Yeah, we've been waiting for about 2 years to get the nod on this one. We've been in a competitive process, but what it gives us access to is the historic Savannah gold field, and there is a legacy drill hole there that was drilled in 2008 by Rex Minerals, where they intersected a metre at 1,174 grams underneath an old working.
Can you just repeat that again? 1 metre at?
1,174 grams, a nice big chunk of gold in drill core directly underneath the historic workings of the new Bendigo shaft. So within about 350 metres of surface, they intersected 3 zones of visible gold. As I said, this is 2008, and no one's ever followed that up. And what it means, though, is that if you sort of think of the year 2008, that was, and to put that into context, the Swan Eagle system at Fosterville was discovered in 2015. They recognised they had that. So it puts new context as to sort of what this gold field at Savannah can actually deliver if we're seeing those stunning grades. And so we're very keen to get out there and start drilling as soon as that licence is granted. So it's going through the process at the moment there where we have to advertise and sort of seek public comment for 21 days. So we're around about halfway through that at the moment.
See any issues with that, Geoff?
No issues at this stage with that. So the community has a chance to comment on that and sort of question us on sort of what we're proposing to do. So we're very excited by what we're seeing there, because we've been drilling just to the north on one of our granted tenements of that, and we've actually seen that gold field continues underneath the Murray Basin cover. So to me, it's sort of like going back to when we were exploring around one of our other projects, Tandara, which is just north of Bendigo and Fosterville. We think we're seeing the same opportunity here to chase that gold mineralisation, not only underneath the old workings, but also north into the unexplored areas. So great opportunity for us.
Well, you've got a lot going on at the moment, and as I said right at the beginning, and when we opened up, I think you've just been flying a little bit under the radar. Not a lot of people know about what you're doing. Can you just share with us where the projects are, and also, you know, what are your priorities? Because I guess you do have a lot going on. So from an investment point of view, why is Navarre an interesting project right now? Because as I say, you've been flying under the radar. So whereabouts is everything? If you can just bring up that.
Okay, I'll do that now. I'll bring up this screen, and you can see where the projects are. Can you see that?
Yep. Clear as anything.
Okay, so here we have a map of Victoria. So we're all based in Victoria. The red dots in there are our major advanced projects. So you'll see that up to the top right is Tandara. That's a passive investment on our behalf. So that was the discovery undercover just north of Bendigo and Fosterville. we're in joint venture with a company called Catalyst Metals. They're the operator. So we basically advise them sort of the work programs they have, but effectively that's a passive investment.
Okay, so just on that, when you say it's a passive investment, so are they operating? So you technically have said there's gold in them there hills, but somebody else is going to take the project forward. What's the joint venture split? So
okay, that's a good question. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. So Catalyst are the operator with 51% interest. We're the junior partner at 49% interest. They are managing that and running the programs. We contribute on our pro rata basis. They've been diamond drilling up there. They've been extending gold mineralisation that looks very similar to the Bendigo style. So there's about 3 prospects up there we call Tomorrow. Next door to that is McNaughton, and then the recent discovery at Laurie. So all these are effectively similar gold styles to Bendigo, but it's hidden underneath the Murray Basin cover. So the Tomorrow zone gets to within 20 metres of surface. So these are areas that the old timers were unable to find sort of back during the gold rush days. And by the use of modern technology, geophysics, soil sampling, everything like that, we can actually see through this cover. And that's what we're hoping to replicate again at St Arnaud. So you can see St Arnaud there further to the west, and St Arnaud is sort of like it's perched on the beach, you could say. So you've got the goldfield that sort of you could say was the Port Fairy, and the Murray Basin is the ocean, and so the gold that was found at the St Arnaud goldfield, we've been able to chase that so far 5 kilometres in underneath that Murray Basin cover, and it's still open to the north and still open at depth. So that's quite exciting. Our other prime focus, you can see there with the red dot, is Irvine. Irvine is very similar to the Stawell gold mine. So the founders of Navarre Minerals, we used to run Stawell gold mine, so we know that style of mineralisation very well. But when we were running Stawell gold mines, we never had access to the southern area that we call the Stawell Gold Corridor. And as luck would have it, after we listed in 2011, those areas became available and we pegged them. And in 2015, we started our first work there at Irvine, and that resulted in us discovering 2 gold systems. One we call Resolution Lode, which we're currently diamond drilling now, and we're looking to convert that into our maiden mineral resource. So we're going to have 3 diamond rigs on that by October. So at the moment, we've currently got one that's working 24/7. The next one will arrive in September, and then the third one in October. And then meanwhile, just south of that is another lookalike to Stawell, which we call Langing Logan. And this is at an earlier stage of exploration. So we're still doing the shallow drilling around that. So in October also, we have a 4th rig. This is an air core rig. These drill the shallow holes, but move around very quickly. So that rig's going to arrive then and start mapping the margins of that gold zone as well. So quite exciting sort of there. The other one I also just want to mention to you is Jubilee. Jubilee is right near Ballarat. We picked that up probably 6 to 8 weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
And it is a lookalike to Fosterville. When we and this
got
is
my attention, Geoff.
well, this is what's exciting about this, is that when you think of Fosterville, the Eagle Swan system is at an unusual angle to the main orientation of most gold mines in Victoria. That a big component of the high grade runs east-west, and that is perpendicular to the strike of most of the gold fields. So if you're a geologist and you're looking to find north-south trending gold zones, you would organise your drilling to be running east-west.
Okay.
And because the high-grade reefs run east-west here, your drilling would most likely miss these things. And so it's just serendipity you find them. Anyway, we searched around Victoria to see whether we can find other examples of these east-west reefs. And lo and behold, there's an historically mined reef system called Jubilee right near Ballarat that's been mined from surface down to 600 metres at close to half an ounce of gold. It all finished in 1914, just before World War One. They left gold in the bottom level, and lo and behold, no one's ever drilled a hole to chase that up. And so we recognise that, we've pounced on it. We've employed a brand new team. We've added to Navarre Minerals that are working that up. So we're looking to drill that this year. So you can see.
I'm going to put my my sort of, well, my other hat on, which is like, Geoff, if it is so, has such great potential, why wasn't it snapped up before? I mean, you said, and it's very close to the Ballarat gold mine.
That's a very good question. That is a very good question. I think that most people, in looking for Fosterville, there's two ways to go there. I think that the way I read it is that everyone started picking up ground in around Fosterville. So all the vacant ground's been gone after because everyone's looking at that Fosterville trend. And we know that the state government has put a tender process there for a series of blocks that run north of Fosterville that everyone's keenly seeking and putting applications for. We were thinking there that, okay, that area's already gone, but where else could you find this type of system? And so we've searched everywhere, and lo and behold, there are other areas outside of Fosterville that have this style of mineralisation. But also remembering that the rocks that host a lot of the gold mineralisation in Victoria are very similar. They're very uniform type rocks, and every sort of style of mineralisation is just there's just slight variations if you sort of know the geology well. And so we
okay,
were.
So,
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt you, Geoff. You said earlier that you listed in 2011.
Yes.
We're now 2020. Tell me, why has it taken such a long time to get to? I mean, look, I know things take a while, but I'm being tough on you now.
Okay.
Why? It just seems like you've flown under the radar. Was that a deliberate strategy? You've got a number of projects that I can see here, and I'd like to go over a couple more as well. But from a strategic point of view, why has it taken a while to get to this point?
Yeah, that's a very good question. When we listed in 2011, Victoria was toxic for a lot of investment, and that's because of what had happened at Ballarat and Bendigo in their reincarnations as modern mining centres. That Lehir ran into trouble and basically failed sort of at Ballarat, and then Bendigo Mining, Unity Mining were looking to make Bendigo happen again. So after those had blown up and basically meant that gold was tough to find in Victoria, we set about, we had no competition for picking up ground. We knew that centres like Stawell and Fosterville were Victoria's greatest modern gold mines at the time. At Stawell, we were the leading gold producer until we were knocked off in 2009 by Fosterville. That's because that style of gold mineralisation is quite different. It's more caught up with sulfides, it's more disseminated, it's more uniform, it's more predictable. And so chasing that style of mineralisation is certainly something that we were keen to do. So to put it into context, we had really no competition for picking up ground in 2011. But on the other side of the coin, no one would invest in us because Victoria was toxic. And it wasn't until we started to see the Fosterville glow that all that sentiment changed, that Victoria can host these magnificent gold deposits. And all of a sudden, we're finding ourselves with people, falling over themselves to support us in our capital raisings. So we're sitting at one of our best cash positions at the moment, with about $13 million in the bank, and we're able to now do the programs on these fabulous bits of ground that we've picked up, and we're starting to see the rewards of that program. I guess the other thing too is that we've always had a regional Victoria focus. We're not located in the major centre like Melbourne, so we tend to sort of fly under the radar a little bit. And I guess the other thing there too is that most of our targeting, you'll see there with the projects we've picked up, most of them are within 100 kilometres of processing plants. So there are clear pathways to commercialise the projects that we have. So
you're going to deliver a maiden, because we're running out of time. So what I really want to get to the crux of, and it's interesting, you just said, you don't have an office in Melbourne, you're out in regional Victoria. Actually, that's pretty cool, because that means that that's not shareholder funds going into expensive office space, I guess. Is that right?
Pretty much so. We're trying to keep all the money going into the ground and to deliver the results. If I sort of put it into the parlance of having a lot of children, we're sort of, we're bringing up our children, and we're sort of, some of them look like they're heading to university. Others might have to go back and sort of spend a repeat year. So that's sort of how we run our business there. That exploration is not everything wins. Some things fail, and at various stages. And sometimes you need to take a bit of a pause to rethink what these projects are telling us. But at this stage, we've got a lot of these ones vying for focus, and the way we're setting ourselves up is that we recognise that Victoria is in lockdown at the moment. We're the pariah state in Australia, with the borders up against us. So at the moment, with a lot of new entrants into Victoria, it's about getting the resources, the drill rigs, the geophysical crews, the geologists, all the personnel to be able to execute your programs. We've been doing that. We've got long-standing relationships with a lot of the drilling contractors and all that through the state. So we're gearing up. We're bringing in people to run various ones of our projects here as standalone projects. So we're heating things up, getting ready to launch in October with 4 rigs onto our properties.
So look, I know you're in Victoria, COVID's an issue, but it's not really impacting on Navarre Minerals continuing to move forward, and you're well cashed up.
That's right, and we're operating in areas outside of the level 4 restrictions in Melbourne. So that's one of the beauties about being regionally located. So great spot to be, a lot of exciting things happening, and just stay tuned.
Well, there you have it, Navarre Minerals. Geoff McDermott, thanks for joining us at the Virtual Gold Conference today. And if people want to get in touch with you, questions, etc., because we just don't have time now, but are you able to join us at 5 p.m. today? We're going to just do a little bit of a networking where people can ask questions. Will you be around? Or
Absolutely. Love to field any questions. Yeah.
So don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of today, there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions to all of our speakers from today. For the moment, Geoff McDermott, thanks for joining us. We will see you at the end of the day.
Thanks, Kerry. Cheers, everyone.